Oh, I'm so happy to see you guys.
You know, you would
Okay, we're
think
here.
you would think in this day, after how many years of Zoom, you would never be surprised by anything. Um,
Hey, listen, it keeps us on our toes. Well, it
It
keeps
does.
you guys on your toes. I just go to the bar.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and we are so sorry for the technical glitch, but we hope that you hung in there with us because we're so excited to talk to these wonderful authors today about their really cool book. And so we 15 minutes off schedule, but um, uh, things of quality have no fear of time. And here we are.
Oh,
So,
I love that.
ah,
Helen Keller
Ah, I did not know that. Okay. All right.
had a poster in my bedroom. I always love that.
I'll have to Google.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, everyone, thanks so much. Welcome back to another episode of Book Club Snug, where Lainey Grace and I handpick books that we think will be great for book clubs. So before we get going, I am Virginia, Lainey,
Hi.
Hi. I'm
and
Grace.
Grace. We are the Library Love Fest team, and Lainey and Grace are magic because they untangle all the wires and make everything work. And thank you both. And today we have this really neat book. You know, in the past we have talked to authors who have co-written, one or two authors who have written a book together. We have three authors here, three pros, and you all know them. And we're really excited to talk to them. The book is The Author's Guide to Murder by Lauren Willig, Beatriz Williams, and Karen White. This is Agatha Christie meets Murder, She Wrote. It's a locked room mystery. And these New York Times bestselling authors have brought their A game one more time. So there they are. And here we are. And there's that super cool jacket. Love the pen, love the blood.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And the sheep, don't forget, notice the sheep.
Yes.
And the sheep. Apparently there are sheep. There are sheep in the offices, hotels, or wherever our authors are right now. They may make an appearance. Library Journal gave this a starred review. They also selected it for their mystery and suspense pick of the month. And their quote is the following, and they are not the only ones to give this book a starred review, but I love this quote: a fun send-up of the publishing industry in which mystery writing imbued with humor and mixed with tropes of the genre is turned on its head. A dramatic mystery with an exotic setting and delightful characters. Readers who recognize and like satire will enjoy. All right. So we are going to start with brief introductions of the authors, and then we'll just get into the conversation. And please bring your questions about this book and anything you want to ask the authors about their writing process, anything at all. And also, hopefully we'll have some time, but we're going to go a little bit longer today because of our glitch, but hopefully we'll have time at the end when we say goodbye to our authors to do a little housekeeping. We've got really neat information about some upcoming webinars and such that you would probably want to know about. So, but let's get on with the conversation. So, let's start first. I believe Lainey's going to introduce Lauren, right?
Yeah. Excited to. Hi Lauren, how are you?
Hey, hi. Thank you for having us.
Good. Of course, we're so excited for this. So I'm going to do a brief bio. So Lauren Willig is the New York Times and USA Today bestselling author, alumna of Yale University. She's has a graduate degree in history from Harvard and a JD from Harvard Law School. She lives in New York City. In addition to the book we're talking about today, I wanted to call out that you have a book called The Girl from Greenwich Street, publishing on March 4th from William Morrow. And if you want to learn about all of Lauren's books, including this one, go to her website, laurenwillig.com.
Thank you.
And next up, Beatriz Williams, the best-selling author of over a dozen novels, including Husbands and Lovers, The Summer Wives, and The Secret Life of Violet Grant, as well as 4 other novels co-written with Lauren Willig and Karen White. A native of Seattle, she graduated from Stanford University and earned an MBA in finance from Columbia University. She lives with her husband and 4 children, near the Connecticut shore, where she divides her time between writing and laundry. Welcome, Beatrice.
Good to be here. Thanks for having us.
All right, and I'm excited to introduce Karen, who has a really cute sheep behind her. And I feel like you should put more back there, and whoever like can count as many, like it's a
Oh,
prize or something.
Did you see the bookends?
I think I need glasses, is what I'm realizing, but that is so cool.
Also sheep.
Oh, wow.
All right, so Karen White is a New York Times and USA Today bestselling author of 34 novels, including The Last Night in London and The House on Britannia, as well as the Trad Street Mystery Series. She currently writes what she refers to as grit lit, I love that, Southern women's fiction. She is a graduate of the American School in London and has a BS in management from Tulane University. When not writing, she spends her time reading, singing, and avoiding cooking. She has 2 grown children and currently lives in Atlanta and the Northwest Florida coast with her husband and spoiled Havanese dog. Thank you for being here.
I'm so excited about it. We haven't chatted in so long, and so thank you for staging this fun reunion.
Happy to
And I
do.
can vouch that the dog is in fact spoiled, the Havanese.
Well,
Just
Beatrice
throw that in there.
because it ate her leftovers.
Which was lamb, wasn't it? Was it your lamb?
It was
chop?
lamb,
Oh,
actually.
it was
This-
sheep.
wow, I didn't even think of that connection, and now I feel really guilty.
Yeah. Oh,
It was so on brand, though.
I know, right?
It was on brand in
I
a
think-
dark way. But actually, the thing I love most is, that from that Library Journal review is, readers who recognized satire, which is always the danger whenever you write a book that has a satirical angle, because
You're
you
hoping
really
people
hope that
will
readers
understand
will
it's a wink,
recognize.
wink,
Yes. And by satirical angle, we mean a lot of sheep jokes.
A
Yes.
lot of sheep jokes
And plaid. There
status
is
jokes.
so much plaid. We
Yes,
encourage everyone on our book tour to wear plaid because we will.
right.
Well, it's a BYOP, a bring your own plaid.
Exactly. And just
And
getting this-
BYOS, bring your own sheep. Sheep.
I just want to get this out first, is that the acknowledgement is to the people of Scotland. We're sorry. So,
Well, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember, Karen, was it you and I who had watched A Castle for Christmas and thought we can't possibly do any worse than
Yes.
this?
and yes, exactly. We set the bar very low, but
I mean,
we
they had
have
Karen
to
As
wait.
we
But
as we do.
love
Yeah.
this book. Yeah,
That's our
we love
motto.
this
Set
book.
the bar low and you'll always achieve your dream.
Well, actually, it's not so much set the bar low as have a bar.
Right,
Yeah,
just have a
exactly.
bar.
Set the bar
Yeah.
low enough so that when you fall down, sorry, we're getting
Stop.
too
Okay. No.
too
all right,
close
sorry.
into our method here. We don't want to give away too many secrets.
I
How
kind
our
of
books
love
are
this.
written.
It's hilarious. You don't even need to talk about the book. Just keep telling us about how you guys drink and fall under the bars. It's fun.
That's how
It's
we
good.
that's how we got together the first time. 3 writers stumbled into a bar and we're like, let's write a book together.
Well, we were walking steadily when we first walked in. We were stumbling on the way out, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, we were. Yeah. And
I'm
right
sorry
now-
that this is virtual.
I know, right? Because we could be doing this at a bar.
Yeah, we could be. Well,
We should have
There's
set
always
this
tables.
up, actually. That would have been really fun. Just live stream us.
yeah,
from a
yes.
bar.
On our bar stools.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Or my bouncy. ball.
Okay. Well, your bouncy
If we
ball.
if we need to get on track, we can get on track. We can do that.
We can.
I mean, it
Okay.
takes some work.
Who's gonna
Well, I
who's gonna
think-
like herd us
I'll-
into the crowd?
Oh God. I can't even
What
say
the
that.
flock,
I can't say
Karen? Come on.
Don't ram the
It's on
plane home.
fire today.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Oh,
Lamb joke.
Well played.
That was bad. Um, all right. Who wants to tell us about the book? I mean, we can, but it's time for you. It's your time now. So what do you want people to know about the book without giving lots away? The fun is in the read.
That's always the trouble. So we're kind of a little bit going back to our origin story with this book. And it started out, as you know, we were 3 writers walking into a bar. We were going to write a book together. And it occurred to us this is when we were finishing up our most recent book, which was The Lost Summers of Newport. And we were sitting around at lunchtime, I think, taking a little break. And we were joking about the fact that everybody asks whether, you know, when we're in book tour, were you put together by your publisher to write this book? Sort of like a girl band, sort of like the Spice Girls. And we say, well, of course not. We're all best friends. And we started writing, and we realized how sketchy that story actually sounds. Like, really, you walked into a bar and became best friends and started writing books. That's too good. So we started putting together this story about three writers who traveled to a Scottish castle together in order to write a book based on a mystery that has taken place in the castle's past.
But is that really what they're there to do?
Or
Yes.
are they?
But is it? Exactly. And I don't think it's a spoiler to say that somebody turns up dead on the first page.
Yes.
And it's not one of our three authors, don't worry. But
Yes.
but it turns out there may be, and they may not be such good friends as they seem to be on the surface, on social media.
Yes. Yeah. But before we even talk about all the fun nuances of this, because there's an historical part to it and all sorts of cool things and men in kilts and sheep and all that. But at the end of the day, and I know we joke and we laugh, and there are some really funny things that no matter how many times we were doing the edits and I knew what was coming and I'd already read it a million times, I am cracking up just reading it. But at the end of the day, this is really a story about women's friendships and about the bonds that women from different walks of life, from different areas of the country or whatever, how they find, you know, that friendship in common, and that, you know, they learn who has their back. And our joke is, you know, that we call each other the shovel sisters, you know, when one of us says, oh my gosh, somebody just XYZ, and the other two are like, we are bringing our shovels. So, you know, we're not asking, you know, how they died or where the body is, we will just help them bury it. So, you know, and like, I think and you find these friends throughout your life, you know, Beatrice and I didn't meet until, you know, we were all married and had kids. Well, not you, Lauren.
It was
You didn't-
actually a publisher who brought us together. We were in a cocktail party at a writer conference, and
Yes.
they were literally putting, like, it's one of those conference rooms where they had the bar set up. They were literally sort of packing the bar up and wheeling it away, and we're still there talking until we
Like,
realized we
I'm
were
not done
out
with
of
that.
wine. But yeah, so it is a literary satire. It is like a wonderful murder mystery, but it's also at its heart like a female buddy flick, really. I mean,
We would call it a bromance, but there isn't really a female term for that.
No, there
A
isn't.
romance?
No, there isn't. Just BFFs, or I don't know.
I think if anyone
sisters
can come
before
up with that,
misters. Yes.
yeah, I want to say if anyone can come up with that, it's you three.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah,
agree.
that's true.
We'll get to work on that. Yeah.
Go to the bar. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll brainstorm it.
Yeah, because, you know, and also the original, I mean, yes, writing a book together was something we'd never done before, and we just thought it would be fun the first time we met. But we were also trying to think of a way for a publisher to pay for a girls' trip, and B, also pay for our bar bill. And so
I feel like mission
all
was
met.
accomplished because our very first book tour, on the very first night of our very first book tour, we did one of those social media posts where you're toasting, and we each had 3 cute little cocktails, and it's like the 3 of us toasting. And the publicity person contacted us the next day and was like, oh my gosh, you got so much engagement in that post, you need to do it every night. And we're like, I think that sounds like a business expense.
Yes.
So there you go.
So we
Mission
made sure, you know, always ordered a cocktail, and sometimes more than one. If it wasn't, you know, photogenic, we'd have to get more for social media.
And we're doing it
Because
for
it's
a
all
reason.
work, work, work.
It's all for you.
Three W's, work, work, work.
Work.
And
right?
wine, but mostly
That's
wine.
the fourth.
That's the 4th W.
Oh, I love that. That is so work, 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 or work, wine, work, or work while
Wine.
wine.
Right, with an H
brainstorming
and
is
without
our
an
favorite
H.
part of this whole process, I think. Right? The
Totally.
brainstorming is what
Yes, true.
what we're here for.
Well,
Yeah,
also, I think working together gives us the freedom to take these random ideas, like let's write a madcap satire murder mystery set at a castle in Scotland and run with it, because these are things we would never do individually. But when we know we have each other's backs and also wine, we do it.
And just as another little wink, wink, when we first met at that bar, and we're like, oh yeah, let's write a book together, and we can call it 50 Shades of Plaid, right? You know, have
It was
it
the
in a
summer of
sentence.
2012.
Yeah,
So
there was another
a
50
certain book
Shades.
was very much on our radar screen.
Right. And we're like, oh, but we can set it in Scotland, and, you know, so we'll have to, you know, plaid. And we just thought that was so clever and whatever. Unfortunately, nobody else thought it was as clever as we did. So, but we still found
This
a way.
happens a
You'll have to
lot.
read the book to see where, but we did find a way to insert that title into this book as well. Even though our mean and hateful editor wouldn't let us use that
Call the
title
book.
in the book.
It
But
comes back and she's like, so it didn't really test well with marketing. And I'm like, what?
like, why would you ask
No sense of
marketing? What do
humor.
they know? They know nothing.
You're like,
They know
why
nothing.
are they referencing this title? And we're like, it's a joke to be funny? I don't know. Anyway.
I love it. I'd pick it up.
Maybe we just crack ourselves up. I don't know. Everyone in the audience is probably just staring stone-faced at their screen, but I can't believe these women think they're
And
funny.
maybe this isn't
Well,
the
this is
book
like
for
us in
you.
taxis on book tour at 5 a.m, where we once had a cab driver actually ask us if we had a hidden camera in the back of the car because
Yeah,
we were
it
tracking
was
each
an
other
Uber
up.
guy. We've been
Yeah, so
entertaining Uber drivers all across America.
Maybe that should be
your
our
motto.
slogan: entertaining Uber drivers since 2012.
Exactly.
That's
But
amazing.
you know what? It's yeah. You have to really like being with people to be able to go on book tour. And I think it shows up in when you come to see us on our what we like to call our most fun book tour ever. This will be about part 5, right? Part
Yes.
5, coming in November. But you really have to like each other. And I think when we get on stage and we talk and we do our little spiel, I think it's very clear that we do get along. And I think that's also why we write so well together. I know before, I think it was Virginia had mentioned a question that she anticipated being asked, and we get asked a lot, is what do you do when there's conflict? And
It was asked, so perfect.
yeah, well,
It always is asked. And actually, the first time we got asked that at our first ever book talk
in New
our
York.
first ever book together, we just stood there, and you know, we're talkers. We usually don't run out of words. We stood there frozen because we had no idea. We had had conflict. It had just never arisen.
Yeah, we don't really disagree a lot. I mean, we kind and you know, it's funny, people come out of our talks when we're live, and actually our best, so we're in Indiana, and it turns out our venue is a cabaret lounge, and we walk in there, and I'll never forget, Lauren turns to me and she says, you know, I think this plays to our strengths. And there was a piano. We had to forcibly hold Karen back. But after we do our talk, people have one of two reactions. They either think we should go into corporate speaking, where you tell teams how to work together, which is, I think we could probably make a lot more money than writing books.
Probably,
So
yeah.
we have earmarked that. But either that, or we need our own HBO comedy special, which
Yeah,
that's
which
my
I'm
favorite
game for
reaction.
both. Yeah.
It sounds like a
Um,
lot more fun than doing the corporate chicken circuit.
But here's the
Yeah.
thing, when you write with 2 other writers whose writing you love, you know, you love reading anything they've written. So when you're writing round robin, which is how we do it, and you read what they've written, you're like so excited to read it. And even if that's, you know, like they've changed something that wasn't originally discussed, because when we plot our books, we're very, very light on details, because that's how we are creative in our own writing, you know, where we can change things. So when we get to something, you know, that there's been like, we need to do an alter, and it's not like, oh no, you can't do that. It's like, every idea is a good idea. And if somebody loves this idea, then we just go with it. You know, it's I don't want to say we never have a bad idea, but with these books, every idea is exciting. And if it takes us in this new and exciting, you know, path, then we're going to do it, you know? And I think that's why, again, what's our conflict, Lauren? It's a red wine or white wine, and we
And
just
the answer is
compromise by having
always Prosecco. But I
The
think
answer
this
is
sort of
always
goes back to our process, which was another anticipated question, because we always start by plotting the whole book out together, the 3 of
Right.
us. We go someplace horrible like Karen's beach house, and we sit there with caffeine until 5 o'clock, and then we bring out the Prosecco, and
can give you the address
hammer
if you
out
want.
the whole story together.
Yes. And you know, the shovels, when we're not busy burying bodies for each other, the shovels are very useful for filling in plot holes. So
That's
when
true.
we get to the actual writing and we're like, wait a minute, this can't happen because on page 8, you know, we find a way to, oh, let's figure this out. Let's work this out, make changes to our outline and fill in that plot hole. So shovels, you know, they have multiple purposes.
They do.
I think
But-
it also, it's what Karen said about there's never a bad idea. And I'll never forget the first time we got together to plot out a book. And this was total pie in the sky. None of us had ever written with anyone. We didn't know if we could. And we were like, we'll just throw a few ideas around. And the way the ideas built off each other, and those shovels came out to fill in plot holes, and it was the most miraculous feeling, because instead of someone being like, no, that will never work, what we should really do is blah blah blah, it's, oh my god, you're right, if we do this, then we can do this. And the story just grew and grew until we had a book without even really trying.
And that's it, because we respect each other too much that we would never say, oh no, because obviously if somebody is suggesting it, there's something there, and let's work with that, let's go there, and it's always a good idea. And then it's just, so it's this evolving thing that we do. And I think they're true collaborations. It's not my book or her book or her book. This is our book, and our goal is the same. We want it to be the best book that we can create. And I think that's just, it was sort of by unspoken agreement when we sat down that first time to plot out that first book. We understood that it wasn't, we never had to sit down and say, wait a minute, you're being very bossy. It just, we never even had to have that discussion. We just made it happen.
And we really knew from the beginning, we didn't want this to be an anthology. We didn't want someone to pick up the book and be like, oh, that's so-and-so's section, and read them as if they were separate things. That, as Karen was saying, this was a book, a single book with a single voice. And yes, we were all writing different bits of it, but they were all part of the same whole.
Right. And a lot of people, that's why people, I think, can't tell who writes what part, including our editor. And I think, again, it was by unspoken agreement that we're like, okay, we're going to meld our voices, because we each have very strong voices in our own writing. But we understood that for these books, we needed to have the unibrain voice, which is what we call ourselves, the unibrain. You know, it's not the Lauren voice, the Beatriz voice, the Karen voice. It is our collective voice. And
Or the character's
just
voice,
did it.
you know, the fact that we have 3 different characters, and so each one is naturally going to have its own voice, but we do love to mess with readers, because of course the first thing our readers want to do is figure out who wrote what. So we like to kind of play around with that. Maybe Karen writes the Southern character, but maybe she doesn't. So it's kind of fun to mess with readers that way.
We love messing with readers.
And I will say,
No?
actually, my
Or-
mother was reading the arc of Author's Guide to Murder and misguessed my character.
No, your mother.
I mean, she's
Wow.
only a couple of chapters in, but still.
Still, yeah.
The one, I would say the one W whisperer is my husband. He can tell within a few lines, but literally I think he might be the only one who's that attuned to.
Certainly
make-
not our editor who gets it wrong.
Really
every
not our
time.
editor who usually gets it wrong.
Sorry, Rachel, or is
Sorry,
it
Rachel,
Rochelle?
but you
Although, to
know,
be fair to Rachel, our previous editor, Cindy, also consistently got it wrong.
Oh
Well,
wow.
that's, at least they're consistent.
Exactly, but having no.
So I'm gonna just jump in for a second, because this is so perfect, because as you said, you really can't talk too much about the book, the storyline, or it does take away from, you know, sort of the mystery and the intrigue and the fun of it. But I think
Big
people
plot
have the
twist,
idea.
by the way, big plot twist.
Big
there's
plot
few
twist.
plot twists. Yes.
I mean, it's so twisty,
But-
we lost track of the twist.
Yes.
It's so twisty. What?
Twists have twists.
We lost track of it. It's like a corkscrew. It just keeps twisting.
Everything's got a theme here, and it's all about hooch. Anyway, um,
Corkscrews again, Lauren.
Except when it's about
I-
sheep.
we do have some questions from folks who are watching, and they're very entertained by you guys. So, thanks for
Come see us live.
I know. Oh, and
Name the
speaking of
bar.
which, we do have a big reader weekend to launch
Our
this.
first ever.
check out our Instagram page, Willig White Williams. The ticket link has just gone live for our reader weekend, the first weekend of November in Newport, Rhode Island. It's going to be so much fun. And not just us.
I'll find
We
that
can
link
put
and
it
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, you read my mind, Grace. So we'll put it, Grace will put it in there. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, it will be, trust me, yeah. But tickets are limited.
Uh-oh, run, don't walk.
Mhm.
But not
right.
to Newport, to your ticket link. I mean, obviously.
To your ticket link, right?
Running to
They go to
Newport.
Newport, they'll be like, where are they? Where are these funny women? Okay, so, okay, let's see, well, because we've had a bit of a little technical difficulty, so we want to get to as many questions as possible.
Great, usually
Pat,
we stun them into silence, so it's
Yeah, usually, yeah.
it's nice they still have their wits about them.
no, are you kidding me? This is
Oh yeah, they're so excited.
right up everyone's
These-
alley. This is so perfect. Love the crosstalk, love the convo. It's so much fun. Will this, so Pat Deploy, I hope I'm saying her name right. Will this book be one time line or several?
Wait, sorry, what was that?
Will it be?
A one-time line or several? I guess what she's asking.
Oh,
it's gonna
is it
be
a
Oh, I
series?
see. It's a standalone. It is
It is a
all-
standalone.
All of our
But we've come up with
collaborations
a
are
few
stand-
ideas. We love these characters so much. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here. I feel like we really loved these characters and their relationship in a way that kind of exceeds even the vast love we've had for other characters. And so we have joked about sequels and how to weave that in, have a new mystery in a new cool location. So
But
stay
nothing
tuned.
yet, but I can see that happening because yeah, so, but as of now, it is a standalone. We have just for fun, we will pull in characters from other books and like throw them in here, but it's not a continuity at all. It's definitely.
We dragged
Our-
Prunella Schuyler's carcass back into
Yeah.
this book.
She's the
And,
character that won't die.
and she loves us for it.
Vicky Nesting had a question, but I feel like you've answered it. She said, question for all is, this is not the first book you all have done together. What is your process? Is there anything that you wanted to add to, like, I don't know. I mean, what's the day-to-day while you're still, you call each other up and say, or do you email each other and say, well, what do you think about this happening next? Or
We call it our sort of our famous or infamous text chains that 100 years after we die will be published in a heavily redacted form. But yeah, so we do go back and forth. We have our plot. We meet somewhere, we do our plot, then we go to I'm in Georgia, Beatrice is in Connecticut, Lauren is in New York. And so we will write round robin. And then when we have questions or just anything like that, we do these texts back and forth that just go on and on and on. And then again, we meet at some horrible place, like my beach house or, some spa resort place, and we will clean it up and send it to our editor and celebrate, and then probably start on the next one. So that is basically our process in a nutshell.
Very cool. Somebody asked, Maureen Roberts wants to know, what kind of books do your authors write in the novel?
So we have
that's a
three
good one.
characters. That's a great question. So one it writes erotica, but sort of dense, complicated, dark erotic novels. One writes very serious historical fiction, largely biographical fiction of forgotten women in history. And the third one writes several cozy mystery series all at once.
Yes. And just throw out one of the titles of one of the series.
Oh gosh.
It does.
Well, she has a bunch of different series. There's the one with the cat solving mysteries in a coffee shop in Seattle. There's the
Moggy,
Little
what
Head
was that
Witch.
one? Moggy's
Mocha's.
Moggy's and Mocha or something. Yes.
So yeah.
Oh, there's the the haunted, what was it? The bakery.
The Haunted Bake Shop.
The Haunted Bake Shop series. Yes.
And the medieval hedge witch mystery
Yes.
series.
Oh, I did the farmer's market.
You get the, yeah,
Farmer's
the gist.
market, I
Yeah.
think. Oh,
A good question. Yeah. Okay.
we have a lot of fun. We do actually brainstorm all this stuff together, and then each one of us picks a character after we've gone through all that outlining and brainstorming. So we kind of all create these characters in common. So we're each qualified to talk about the different. And actually, here was the writing twist for this one, because usually our books, there's 3 different time periods. So each one of our characters exists in this fictional world where only she is there. But in this one, all 3 of our characters are in the same time and space together. So, you know, if I was writing my character, I'd also have Karen and Lauren's characters in there too. And then when I got to read Karen and Lauren's chapters, I would see them bring my character to life. And the amazing
That
thing
was
with
really
how well
fun.
it
I
was
really
done-
enjoyed that
much
part of
fun.
it.
Yeah. Because we all know each other's characters so well. So it was really fun to bring them to life and to see how well, you know, the other authors brought our characters to life. So that was neat. I think it really added a new dimension to our
Mhm.
writing
For
relationship.
sure.
That's trust right there, as any writer
There you
will
go.
tell you.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Yes, allowing someone else
Well,
to
it's also fun because our characters didn't really love each other for the first, half of the book. You get to portray the other characters through your character's eyes,
Mhm,
and vice
mhm,
versa.
mhm, mhm.
We've been getting a
It's
lot of
definitely enemies to friends.
enemies.
Yes.
We're looking for
Yes.
tropes. It was
Enemies
definite
to
enemies to friends.
I love that. We've been getting a lot of love in the chat. Vicky Nesting says, I can't believe you all write round robin. Comes out so smooth. We readers never see the seams.
Yay!
Yeah,
Aw,
someone else
cute.
said, Fesna said, love to see women supporting each other like your team does. So
Aw.
lots of excitement in the chat.
I want to kind of build off. I was going to read that one too, Grace. I thought that was so lovely about supporting other women. I want to go off of that because you said something about, having this idea of speaking to people, like how to work together, like corporate sponsorships. But I think it would be cool, even though librarians maybe not collaborating with other people to write a book, but they have to collaborate with people every day they work with. So what's one tip that you'd be like, you have to keep this in mind when you're working with other people, like your go-to thing? I know it's a little bit of a freebie and you might be on the road for your corporate sponsorships, but I just think that would be interesting for me to know.
For me, I honestly, you need to just know what collaboration is. That means you have to listen. That is the number one thing. Like when we're sitting around and plotting, the reason why we don't have conflict, the reason why, because we're not slamming each other down, because the 3 of us do not approach this project, and anybody in the workplace should not approach a project with a cement idea, because the point of collaboration is to get your minds melded together to come out with a completely unique product. And I think if we didn't listen to each other, if we didn't understand what a collaboration was, we couldn't do this. We wouldn't be successful at what we were doing. And I think it works in the workplace. You can't sit at a conference table and not listen to anybody else and just be married to your own ideas. You will get absolutely nowhere. And as someone who worked in the corporate world, saw it happen.
Definitely checking your ego at the door, I think, is
100%.
is the key
Yeah.
thing. And I think keeping a sense of humor as well,
Amen.
making it fun. I mean, I think it shouldn't, we joke that it's work, 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 because it really isn't. When you make the work fun, which is our whole goal, this is the whole point. We didn't want this to be work. We wanted it to be fun.
Mhm.
So approach it with a sense of fun. I think that's, it's a privilege to be able to write books with Karen and Lauren,
100%.
because it is fun. I'm so grateful to be able to share that time with them.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, I love that. It's always a love fest here, isn't it?
You should see us on the road. We have, oh my gosh, so much fun. So much fun.
You have
You know-
to ask those Uber drivers.
I believe you. I'll carry around your luggage if I just get to hang out.
Oh, because with my back, I'm going to need somebody.
Yeah,
so,
see, there we
And
go.
you should see the size of
know-
Karen's suitcases. So
And
yeah,
my trunk. My
I
trunk.
Used to
also- I
do
also
guess
pack
which suitcase belongs to which W, but everyone knows at
Yeah,
this
I
point.
know. Karen's is the one with the
Wow.
dead body inside, apparently.
If we just
the
have
one
the
with the
shovel.
shovels.
Very large and heavy.
Baby, actually, I was going to say the funny thing is this reader weekend we're doing that actually arose out of all the people who would come up to us at the end of talks and say, can I come on tour with you? I'll live in your luggage. I'll carry your luggage. And finally we were like, fine, why don't we just do everyone come on tour with us for a
There you
weekend?
go. And bring your own luggage. Yeah.
I love that. We somebody asked in the chat, are there any hunky men in kilts herding sheep? in
Oh,
the
there
book?
might be.
Oh,
yeah.
please.
What do you
Oh,
think?
Oh my
Right,
God.
you should
Actually, the
mention.
real question will be any hunky men in quilts. In
And
quilts.
kilts.
In
And
kilts.
quilts.
Well, that was a slip of the tongue.
I know that's Karen's dream.
With or
quilt.
without kilts.
Yes.
And the answer to that question is apparently yes. They're working on it. There's the Newport Tourism Board, Discover Newport, is working on the hunky men in kilts situation. So
As we speak.
more to come. But yes, of course, there are hunky men in kilts. But we also like to throw a few curveballs in there too. So
Yes. So
you have to
everything's
read the
not-
book.
And you might also recognize 3 names of the characters. There is a Beatrice, a Lauren, and a Karen, but not in the way you might expect.
And not spelled as you might expect,
Not
but
spelled as
we're all in there as our alter egos / totems,
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
Or
That's
a spirit animal. Yeah.
spirit animals.
cool. A little Easter egg in there. I love that. I want to go back a little to the genre. So there's this big success of, like Knives Out and Only Murders in the Buildings, these satires, but also locked room mysteries. And so what aspect of this really ever evolving genre do you really like writing? And what do you maybe even see it going towards, maybe changing?
We were jokingly calling this our Monarch of the Glen meets Knives Out book while we were working on it.
Yeah.
There are so many things you could put, actually, I don't really read as nearly as much as I should in the mystery genre. So Lauren was sort of educating us as we went along here about, well, these are the tropes, and we live to overturn tropes. So we find a trope and we just kind of, it's like, cow tipping, we're like, oh, trope tipping is what we tried to
But
do
we're
here.
really more trope tweaking, really. We take it by the tail.
Yeah, that's true. And we make it bah. Yeah.
Thaw to our will.
Yes. Boss chart. Sorry. I know.
But also, the other thing, there's a bit of sad as well. We met at a romance writers conference, and we all kind of read a lot of romance when we were younger, and it was a big part of certainly, my coming of age teenager experience, and I think you too as well. And so we have a great deal of affection for that, and we had a lot of fun with that as well, without wanting to give too much away. So it's funny how, it sort of, I guess, plays on this very sort of popular genre that's out there, but it also kind of brings some other stuff in there, which is what I love about it, because we're not sort of, we're a little bit genre bending, I think, in this book, but we do pay a lot of homage to a lot of genres in this book.
Right. And not to come too heavy on one of the little things that we really enjoyed putting in this book is, and again, this is referring to our heavily redacted text chains, but, when a certain type of person gets in our sphere and does and says things that are just like, can you even believe it? And we're all like, oh my gosh, can't believe it. So we use that and we put it in the book, and we had so much fun with that. But I can't give too much away.
Well, the funny
Yeah.
thing is we put some stuff that we thought was a little bit satire, but recently there's been stuff that's been real where life has imitated our satire, and we're like, golly,
wait a minute.
Well, no, there is, not to give too much away, there's a sort of hashtag Me Too angle to this book, regarding the book world. And then, of course, the huge scandal about Neil Gaiman came out, and we were all texting each other links to those articles like, whoa, we wrote this book a year ago. Who knew?
I
Yeah.
know. I think people are going to think we had someone specific in mind, which we did not. You know, our there's a composite character in there who's truly a composite, but it is funny how you know, people want it's almost like this desire in people to live up to their worst stereotypes. So, you know, that's just free material for us, really.
Yeah, and we thank them for it. Yes,
Life imitates art for better or for worse sometimes.
for
huh?
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, someone asked, let's see, Vicky Nesting said, how do you all fit these collaborations in between writing your own books? Are you ever working on both at the same time?
Oh,
Always.
always.
We're always working on both.
Well, and the
I
funny thing,
call this my palate cleanser / productive procrastination, because
Like
when
the
you're
sorbet in Karen's life.
it's a sorbet, yeah. So, you know, when you're working on your own book, and sometimes you're just like, oh, I don't see it anymore. I can't see it anymore. And then bing, you know, in your email says, oh, it's my turn. It's landed in my inbox. It's my turn to write my chapter for the Team W book. And it's just, oh, it's such a breath of fresh air, because you get to completely, because our own books aren't anything like our collaboration. So it's a complete turnaround. And I really, really, really appreciate that. And then when I turn it to the next person, I'm able to attack my single project with a little more, you know, a fresher gaze and excitement. But I was productive too, because I was writing for that other book. So yeah.
yeah,
There always
it's
seems to be some kind of deadline convergence going on. So we end up frantically trying to finish both at the same time.
it is funny that when we came up originally with the idea of writing a book together, our agents were all like, are you crazy? You're all under contract. You're all overcommitted anyway. This is a terrible idea. And it turned out we were right, gloat, gloat, gloat. But these books, they break the time-space continuum. They're like Hermione Granger's Time Turner. We actually,
Nice.
all of us work better and quicker and more effectively when we're also working on a Team W book, because exactly what Karen was saying, you're stuck on your own book, you're dawdling because you can't figure out what you're doing. Your characters make no sense. You don't know how to write anymore. And then your
cleaning
Team
your brow
W
with the
chapter comes
toothbrush,
around.
because, you know, I mean, maybe that's just me, but
It's just-
you're looking for anything else to do but work on it, and then bing, oh, you have something fun to do. Yeah.
And
Yes,
it
where it's
reminds you that
nicely
you
outlined.
and it reminds you that you know how to write, that you kind of can do this thing after
Yeah.
all. And then when you turn that in, you're like, wait, actually, I can do this. And you go back to your own manuscript, and that starts to move again.
Well, I was going to say it speaks to how like great of writers you are and how practiced you are in the craft, because you know how to do it. You know how to do this well. You come together, you use your time effectively.
We
you
have to
get some
remind
really great
ourselves.
puns in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's remind ourselves of that with each book. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I know I've written all these books, but I have no idea what I'm
Well, it
All
is
of them
true.
are flukes.
I
All-
feel like the more you write, the more you have voices and the more you get edited and reviewed, you start to get voices in your head. And you'll be thinking you have a great idea. And then you're like, oh, but I've done that before, or someone else has done that before, or maybe I shouldn't, maybe my readers aren't going to want this, or they're not going to follow me here, or whatever. You get all these voices of doubt in your head, and you
We
start
call
to lose
that
a
the
little bit
voice
that
of
joy.
Goodreads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I try. That's why I never go on Goodreads or Amazon, because I already have enough voices of doubt in my head. So, but coming into this with the three of us, we have each other's backs. We're outlining this together. So, you know, it can't be a dumb idea or a rotten character if all three of us have worked on it together, and having that sort of chapter by chapter outline. So when I sit down to my chapter, even though the details need to be filled in, I kind of know where we're going here. I know who this character is. I know where we're going, and I can write this chapter. I can fill those details in and bring this character to life. And it is a great way to get the juices flowing, get your wheels turning, not to mix too many metaphors, before you then turn back to your own book with that sense of, okay, yes, I do know how to do this, and I can trust that inner voice, that writer voice that I have, and do what only I can do, and what only we can do, I think, together. We each, we each bring something special to this collaboration that we have in our own books. And doing this, is just an exercise in remembering that and getting your footing again.
It's like vitamin W. That's what we call it.
We call it vitamin W.
I love that. Okay, so for the next story, you need like a vitamin bottle with like all of the things for the book, and you can hand those out. I would never
Well, we call
forget.
that wine, actually, but
Okay,
Oh.
perfect. My vitamin.
echo,
I love it.
depending on your definition.
That's
There
so
will be
great.
signature cocktails. Each of our writers in this book has a signature cocktail, and those will be available at the social events in our reader weekend in Newport. Not to keep pushing that, but we're so excited to see our favorite readers for this weekend. So we want to make sure everybody knows, and nobody can, as this always happens after a book tour. Oh, I didn't know you were going to be in my town. It's like, well, no, we're
Well, we're
trying to
also-
get the word out.
We're
I
also
love
very
that.
excited today because we've been working on this behind the scenes for months, and today is the day the link has gone live, and so we can finally be like, look, this is actually happening.
Yeah, I put it in
Yeah.
the chat earlier, but let me put it right back in.
Yes.
So then
And
it's
apparently,
fresh.
literally, the city of Newport is excited about this. Like the
Yes,
tour
and the
Yeah.
mayor,
people-
Should
the mayor
be.
making-
the mayor is going to
appearance?
write us a proclamation or something. I don't know. He's going to turn up and drink at our bar, something like that.
Wow.
So,
It's very
Yes.
exciting.
yeah.
right?
Someone asked about the signature cocktail, so I'm glad we addressed that too. There.
Yes. Well, you'll have to read the book to find out what they are, or come to the reader weekend.
Ooh. Well, we have, okay, so Virginia's having some mic issues. So, of course, when it rains, it pours, right? So, we are going to have 2 more questions, and then I think we're kind of at time. We've gotten to most of them. We have 2 more. One's about book clubs, but first, someone asked, will Prunella Schuyler make an appearance? That's a
Oh,
question.
yes.
Okay.
She's
Oh,
a character we
absolutely.
can't
We can't
kill.
get rid of her.
We
Yeah.
tried to drown her on the Lusitania, and she
Kept
reemerged.
floating like a witch. Wait, witches
Yeah.
don't.
Well, that's why
Oh,
Emma, our historian, wrote a book called The Unsinkable Prunella Schuyler.
Yes.
I love it.
That was her latest great work of biographical fiction. Was she did a biographical novel based on Prunella Schuyler, The Unsinkable Prunella Schuyler, and it sold, I think, all of 6 or 7 copies, right?
Right,
Which is
but it was
why-
very well reviewed.
but it was very well reviewed.
And of course, because there's an Edwardian angle to this book, even though we're not in other time periods, our characters are researching and learning about them. You know, Prunella actually showed up at Kinloch Castle and
Yes,
wrote about
Back
it.
in the day when
Yes, she did.
yes.
And plays actually a pivotal role in the one of the secrets, the twisty secret.
Yes, without even trying, as usual. Prunella, it's a bit inadvertent, but she does play a crucial role.
She will
It's
never
always
die.
inadvertent.
Will never die.
Oh, well, we have one more question, but I just wanted to call out Vesna in the chat said, just booked, looking forward to a fun weekend.
Oh, yay, we have our
So-
first customer. Yay.
Yay. Okay, so our last question, this is called Book Club Snug. So I wanted to ask, why do you think this book makes a good book club book?
Oh, where do we start? Well, friendships. I mean, my book club, we're all women, we're all friends. And I think this is a great women friendship book. And there's a lot of different things to discuss between the mystery, the actual plots, the 2 different mysteries, the individual characters and their individual stories. I think there's a lot here to discuss.
Yes. I think you're going to need all those, your book club friends, to help you find all the Easter eggs, because there
True.
are a lot of Easter eggs in here. And,
And you
I
can't
think
drink a whole bottle of
it's
Prosecco
gonna
by
be
yourself.
hard.
And it's a little bit like Sex in the City, where people used to talk about being Carries or being Charlottes or being whoever. I think we have such 3 different character types who are all sympathetic or annoying in their own ways. And I think different people will react to them differently. It would be really fun for a book club to talk about. Are you in Emma? Are you a Cassie, or are you a Cat? Or are you none of them, and why? Or are you a Beatrice the sheep?
Oh, right. Or Lauren the sheepdog.
Or a Karen, the 80s romance novelist?
And I challenge those of you who read the book before you meet us on book tour to come dressed as your favorite character.
Ooh, or
I
in
love
plaid.
that.
Although actually all of our characters have their plaid wardrobes that they bring to the castle because they're Americans. So they pack their suitcases with plaid. And so you can, if you want to go one step further, imagine the plaid that your character would be wearing.
And one of them would be
I
a
want to see
plaid-
lots of cats, because I think that will be where the viral Instagram posts start taking place.
Yes, and if
So
you can
great.
find a pair of Panta boots in plaid on the cheap, now's the time to get them.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Oh, hello, a friend, two friends. Hello. Well, I think is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up? Just making sure you get everything in. We kind of covered a lot.
I think
I
we
think.
did. And thank you for the opportunity for this first time we've had a chance to talk about the book together. And we so appreciate that opportunity. Thank
Just
you.
a hot tip, next time, can you make sure the Prosecco is delivered to my house before the event?
Yes.
Totally.
Okay.
Yes. I'm
Writing
still
down.
waiting for the
Do it in the
doorbell to
evening.
ring, but I'm sure it's coming, right? Yes.
Well, it's kind of early in the day, so.
Well,
Yeah, well, we'll
But we'll
DoorDash
have the
that right
Prosecco delivered by a Scotsman.
Okay,
in a
yeah,
kilt.
in a kilt.
If only I had that power. That would be a
In-
great power to
Is that
have.
a bottle of Prosecco in your store, Anne?
I sent a new delivery service. Call a Scotch.
Scott.
Love it.
It's always a delight. And thank you so much. This has been so fun. I feel like it was it was a very bubbly conversation and wonderful puns. So
Bubbly.
thank you. Bubbly. And I just want to remind everyone, let me share the picture so we all can see. There we go.
Is there a book?
And yeah, Author's Guide to Murder goes on sale November 5th. So those library reads votes are October 1st. So get that in. And the e-galley is up. So please go read now and find all the Easter eggs and get the bubbly out.
Yep, absolutely.
So thank you so much, everyone. We'll say
Thanks
bye
for
to our
having us. Thanks for
authors.
coming.
All righty. Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it. Bye.
And everybody watching on Facebook should tune in for little housekeeping stuff.
Yeah. All righty.
Bye, guys.
So
Bye, thank you.
thank you. This has been great. Okay, so everyone's here. I want to apologize a little for our situation coming on. It's how it goes. It's as frustrating for us as it is for you. So know that we're on it, and I'm so glad you could join us. I think we got to all the questions, but if you write in later, we'll get those to the authors. I don't know, Virginia is. No, I'm so sorry. You could just mime. Like, can you be in a box?
Yeah, totally.
With lasso. The thinker. So one
Oh.
time when I was in Europe, there was this little like platform and you could go pretend to be a statue when I was with my family. And so my mom was like, get up there, like the kids. And so I was like the Statue of Liberty. And my friend was like, whatever. My brother goes, and my mom's like, what statue are you? He goes, I'm thinking.
I love that.
You're welcome.
I love that.
It's my favorite story. So whenever I see the thinker, that's what I think of. Okay. Thank you for joining us. And we have a few things before we leave that we wanted to get in. So stick with us for a few minutes. Let me pull up my thing again. That was so cool. Grace, didn't you have such a fun time?
Yeah. Before we all jumped on, they were chatting amongst themselves while we were there. And I was like, I could honestly just sit and listen to you guys talk about life all day. Like they are clearly like have really great chemistry, and I think that comes out in their writing, but also just like they're so fun. They're so fun.
Okay.
All right.
So want to do a shout out, Grace? You want to talk about Morningside?
Yeah, so we had Aaron Shetterly, author of Morningside, which is about the 1979 Greensboro massacre, in conversation about this forthcoming book with Margot Lee Shetterly, the author of Hidden Figures. And it's about 30 minutes. It's not very long, but it is packed with great info, and it's going to make you want to pick up the book immediately. And that book is on sale in October. So if you want to vote for library reads, those are going to be due September 1st. So let me put the link to that interview in the chat. I was just sitting there listening to them, and I was just like, I could listen to you two talk all day, and they were fantastic. So let me put that in there.
Yeah, they were just like zooming in from their house, and it was just such a casual, fun, informative combo. That was a really cool thing that happened. That's a big deal. Like we've got these great authors sitting down, and we did a blast in our newsletter, but we wanted to shout it out here again. So if you missed it, you can go watch the replay. Thanks for sharing the link, Grace.
Yeah, of course.
And just checking in. We're good to go next. Are we showing something else or
Give me one
good?
moment.
Okay. So I'm gonna
Alright.
hit.
Go ahead to the next one.
Okay. So very exciting. So we all know The Boy, the Mole, The Fox and the Horse. This book came out 5 years ago. We're coming up on the 5th-year anniversary. There's going to be a great edition. It is an Academy Award winning show now as well, but it started off as this book and it was just so inspiring. It's a sweet illustrated story about a boy who comes in contact with all of the animals listed and they teach him about friendship. And I can't even tell you how many people we've talked to through the years who said, like, I've given that to everyone, or I read it to feel inspired. It's just such a beautiful read. And Charlie Maxey's artwork is beautiful. So we got a phone call from the ALA talking about their ALA Read posters. And I'm sure you know what that is. They have a celebrity one and they have a general illustrated read poster. They sell them at ALA, they sell them on a store, and they wanted somebody for the read poster. And we were pitching them, and this idea came up, and this worked out. It's a year in the making. It's a super special event for us. And I have a really special image. We have the read poster. It happened a year in the making. It happened, but it's just so beautiful and timeless. This came into our inbox. Yes, thank you. Like claps all around. This came into our inbox and immediately, like I think our hearts melted. It's just such a sweet image. But even if you don't know the book, I think that you'll come to it because it's a message that's universal, and we know we're all fighting these book bans in some way or another in our life. So it's going to be shared and shared. This is available. You can buy one for your library. It is going to go out um the read poster ALA graphics catalog that they send out. I think they send out to like 50,000 people. So that's coming in the next one. But it's gonna really continue this message of friendship and sticking with one another and listening to one another. And we can't wait for everyone to buy one for their library or their home. Put it in your home. It's beautiful. And
I'm
we did a
putting the link
video where
well.
we unboxed it, so we'll put that in the chat too. You can see how beautiful it is in person. I think that's everything. We're just so stoked. We're so excited. It's my first one. It's my first read poster, so I'm very excited.
I'm putting the read poster link in the chat as well. All right. Sorry if you just heard somebody honk in the background. I live in Brooklyn.
It's all good. Okay, next. Oh, look, it's us. Woohoo! Grace, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I would love to. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of ALA conference, but we went and it was a blast in San Diego, as you can see by this postcard. It was really, really awesome for the mayor of San Diego to introduce me to the sea lion, who was really excited for this photo op, and to the park rangers who made sure that he didn't eat us. But really, we went to ALA. It was a blast. We had so much fun. And if you don't know, we make these fun little videos to promote our book buzz. And this year we had 300 of you in person to hear about so many books. And we had so much fun. Virginia had the best vision ever because she didn't forget her glasses. She did forget her glasses. And then about 8 librarians had an extra pair. So if you need anything, ask a librarian. We had goggles on. It was so much fun. And I'm going to put the video of us surfing into the conference in the chat right now. It was such a blast.
Yeah. And then after, when we came back, we promoted at ALA that we were going to do a virtual buzz for people who weren't at the show, or if you were at the show and you want to know about some more titles, we got a lot more in the virtual ones, in addition to what we had done in person. We promoted this virtual buzz that we did in July, and we tried out a new format, and everybody was very patient with us, like they are being today. Thank you. With our new format, and we took some some notes on how to improve on that, but I think it allowed us to get a lot more titles in. So you got the most bang for your buck or your time, whatever you want to say. And they sent a survey around, not to toot our own horns, but toot toot. They sent a survey around and we got 100% would recommend this to a colleague. So thank you. I'm glad it was helpful to you. And you can watch the replay. Grace will put that in the chat as well. So if you missed it, no worries. We have the YouTube link, and share that with a colleague, like 100% said they would. And then we also have another one coming up. Oh, sorry, first. But I'm going to move to sorry, Grace, this one. We have another virtual one coming up, and we're going to do even more titles that you haven't heard. Some you may have heard of, lots more you haven't. So be sure to sign up for this. We'll put that in the chat as well. And that's September 9th. Sorry, Grace, going back to.
Oh, all good. Yeah, I put the link for that one in the chat, but we have another one. Me and Virginia will be live with Library Link New Jersey next week. Very excited. On the 28th, we'll be joined by Lee and Low Books and Harlequin. So we're very pumped about that. There's a QR code there, but I also have a link to register. Anyone can come. It's free. We're going to be chatting about books. You can hear from us. You can hear from others. Yeah, we're really pumped about that. I know Virginia's muted, but I know that she in her heart and soul is also very pumped about that. So book bash with
I love
library.
it. All right, and I think that's it, unless there's anything anyone else wants to share. Okay, I don't, just double checking, Virginia, we're not sharing another screen, right? We're good? Okay, we're good. All right. Thank you. And we are starting Galley Gab Fest back again. So check it out. We will hopefully have all this worked out, and we'll put those dates up. We're gonna work for the first Wednesday of the month. So that might change, but at least you can get it on your calendar. And we have a Writers to Watch that we're planning. So stay tuned.
Yeah, and again, thank you all for your patience, and we're really happy you came, and we hope that you enjoyed it, Team W, as much as we did. It was such a good conversation, and yeah, until next month.
Team
Enjoy
W
the
for the
rest of summer.
win.
Bye.
Bye.